Well, I always tell my students, follow your bliss.
Follow your bliss?
Your bliss.
Because for the first 25 years of our lives, we are trained to listen to voices that are not our own. Parents and professors fill our heads with wisdom and information, and then employers and mentors take their place and explain how this world really works.
In the last 1 month, I quit my job, I started a YouTube channel, and I decided I wanted to pursue neuroscience as a career. But if you tap me on the shoulder and ask me why, I don't really have a very good answer. All I can say is I have a voice in my head that told me to do all these things.
There's this idea in Jungian psychology called the circumambulation. And Jung had this idea that you had a potential future self, which would be in potential, everything that you could be. And that it manifests itself moment to moment in your present life by making you interested in things. And the things that you're interested in are the things that would guide you along the path that would lead you to maximal development.
The motif of something capturing the protagonist's interest, which leads to the beginning of his adventure, repeats in a lot of stories. For example, consider the movie Pan's Labyrinth. The protagonist, Ophelia, is constantly bugged by this flickering insect trying to get her attention. This insect comes back to Ophelia again and again, whenever she tries to ignore it or is stopped by the voices of other people. It is call for her destiny, a reminder whenever she tries to forget it by immersing herself in her normal life. The beauty of symbolic representation is that they can appear differently for the same idea. For example, in the movie, the flickering insect transforms itself into a flickering fairy, re-emphasizing that they are basically trying to allude to the same idea. This technique of being able to transform the same idea into different forms is extremely powerful. This symbol or motif of a winged object capturing our attention comes in a lot of places. The wings of the object represents the spirit, and the object itself represents matter. It partly symbolizes that even though it is not possible to completely leave our fragile body accompanied with the sorrows and suffering of life, we can still dip into the magic and the wonder and the meaning by pursuing those things that capture our attention and beckons us forward. One of my favorite examples of this representation is the god Hermes. Hermes, who is the winged messenger of the gods, appear to heroes of the stories when they are lost or are in trouble and don't know the path ahead.
Heed my advice and reach that stone.
As I covered in my Mythology as a Mirror video, gods are mythological representation of the unconscious forces in an individual. Hermes, who is the winged messenger of these unconscious forces, represent the phenomenon of your attention being captured by those things that your unconscious underlying forces deems necessary for your journey ahead. This idea of your intuition being designed to attract you towards things that would make you unfold is one of the most mind-blowing ideas I've ever encountered. It's like evolution has endowed us with a tool to navigate and filter from the infinite choices and possibilities we have. Even though we can decide to ignore this voice or intuition that we have, we end up never experiencing the full potential of our life. A great example that I encountered to explain this is the symbolic game of Quidditch in Harry Potter. You see, in the game of Quidditch, there are two choices. Either you can do what everyone else is doing, and put incremental scores on the scoreboard.
Angelina Johnson scores 10 points for Gryffindor.
And gain the short-term benefits associated with it. Or you can decide to pursue your flickering snitch of intuition and try to listen to it and try to follow it and maybe end up catching it to win the whole game of life.
He's got the snitch! Harry Potter receives 150 points for catching the snitch. Gryffindor wins!
Where the deep sense of being in form and going where your body and the soul want to go. When you have that feeling, then stay with it and don't let anyone throw you off.